I think I may have hit on why certain sectors are trying to reject Lower Decks, despite the fact that no, this show is just as much Star Trek as anything else. And the references are there to kind of reinforce that point. And again, it is not these people aren't fans. No, they are showing they are fans. They know this stuff, and they're trying to think, hey, come on, we're one of you, please. I think the part of the problem, maybe, is that this really should not be the flagship show of mainline Star Trek. You're stuck between with a half-hour sitcom based in the Star Trek universe, or two absolutely horrible attempts at Star Trek by people who really do not like Star Trek and don't understand Star Trek. That's what we're stuck with right now. And I think that may be why it's going to be a difficult period here. Even if, our dreams come true and Kurtzman is shown the door and Secret Hideout doesn't even come near Star Trek again. Again, I predict that, though they will keep Lower Decks going. And that's why it's going to be a rough period, because the only representation of true Star Trek will be Lower Decks. Unless they somehow are working something behind the scenes. I mean, and there may be. Robert Meyer Burnett mentioned about apparently there is some movement on the front of. They said they're bringing in the art designers and stuff for Strange New Worlds, and that's they're actually hiring crew now. So there may be movement on that point. However, but the casting news going out is for Indian Pakistani type of characters, which may indicate that maybe actual movement going on Nicholas Meyer's Khan idea. That may be where that's coming. And again, you can't go by titles necessarily because secrecy has always been a thing. Remember the words Blue Harvest. That was the working title of Return of the Jedi. And of course, they invoke it every once in a while. In fact, Family Guy made an allusion when they did, they were doing their parodies. The third one is called Blue Harvest. But there's the stuff going on. So I think it's making it tough to say that that Strange New Worlds isn't going to happen when they're actually hiring crew now, because it means they're spending real money. But it also could be, we don't know. If it happens, not much we can do about it. If they're just trying to keep their own jobs alive by spending stuff, I don't know. We'll see what happens on that front. If we see the same kind of idiotic designs from previous Kurtzman Trek and they're still in the same stupid uniforms, then yeah, it's one thing, and just deal with it as it comes. But one thing, if this will also be an indicator of how serious they are about sidelining Alex Kurtzman. Because if we start seeing more original style uniforms, a more real, a more canonical looking bridge, and suddenly names start showing up who have previously worked on Star Trek, then that'll be a good sign that they are sidelining Kurtzman, because he's refused to hire even fans, let alone actual experienced production people for his Star Trek things. So if we start seeing recognizable names show up as being part of the show, then we'll probably still have 15 executive producers listed, all of Kurtzman's cronies, but it'll be like again, I think this is where Lower Decks is maybe a testing ground to see if they can do Star Trek, stay in the contract but keep Kurtzman out of the process, where they have the people who know what they're doing actually producing the show, and the rest of them are just the old executive producer to keep you quiet type of thing. Where they just, here's your check, go away. We shall see. Because CBS is the owner of the property, and they do have a certain amount of power here. And again, if Lower Decks shows enough that it's like, and you're seeing enough schisms in the fan base here of people like me saying, hey, this ain't that bad. There's a step in the right direction. We where it's not all the lines aren't quite so clearly drawn, then someone at CBS is going to, hey, okay, here's what we do. Yeah, throw the money at Kurtzman, but don't let him produce anything. Don't let him write anything. Yeah? He's just there for contractual reasons, and not everyone knows it. Those who are paying attention. And if CBS is smart in the publicity, they will not give Kurtzman any more credit than they can get away with. They will hike to high heaven, because you see Mike McMahon's out there doing press all the place. He even showed up on Trek Yards, for God's sakes. Okay, there's a good chance I could get an interview with him if I word it right. Okay, he's going, and they did that Mad Libs on StarTrek.com where it's Mike McMahon and all his writers goofing off and having some fun, the thing, but not a Kurtzman name among them. No secret hideout people. So yeah, they may be figuring it out. Okay, yeah, we need people who actually like the show and know the show, and hopefully people who have actually worked on the show before, because we may be. The Titanic may be finally starting to turn a bit. The only question is, has it already hit the iceberg, or so. With that, PayPal, Patreon, subscribe star, yada 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 down below, and we will talk to you later.